There we go. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checker TV. Tonight is race number 2 of the playoffs, and we are here tonight at iRacing Superspeedway. You can see it there on in the stands there in the background, that beautiful logo. So again, race number 2 of the playoffs, 75 laps here tonight. And so we'll see what everybody's got in store. This is again 230, 240 mile an hour. It's going to be a lot of top speed here tonight. Probably one of the most difficult pit roads to get onto, from that speed all the way down to pit road speed. So that's going to be one of these things these drivers are going to definitely be keeping an extra eye on. But of course, like I said, the main interest for tonight, though, I think is going to be those playoff drivers. So we'll pull up the points going into tonight's race. It is Dude Conrad in the 8 with a 2-point lead over Vicente Guerrero. Jim Brooks there sitting in 3rd. I say it's first race, so everybody's going to still stay pretty tightly packed. So like I said, you've got the top 7 drivers within 8 points of one another. And the reason for that is because we had a lot of non-playoff drivers in those top spots. Our highest playoff driver was Dude Conrad in 5th. Last week was Andrew Schroeder, Peter DeBorgia, Kevin Fries, Jacob Lee taking those top 4 spots out of the playoff drivers, or non-playoff drivers, I should say. Kevin E. Lee there in 6th, so it was basically Dude in 5th, Vicente 7th, Jim Brooks 8th, then Bud Steele, and Rick Sanchez are top 10. So those were the ones that were able to get top 10 of our playoff drivers. So again, just shows that these guys, they're not going to, they're here to try to help their teammates for those that are around. But also, again, these guys, they want to get their own results here. Even if they're not in the playoffs, they've got sponsors on the trucks. They've got friends. They've got family watching. They want to get the best result they can, too. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what the strategies are here tonight. As always, what we will see is on that timing and scoring ticker on the top, you will see those trucks in the playoffs highlighted in green. So right there you see right now at the moment, Peter DeBorgia, our pole sitter at the moment. They say not in green, but here you go. Look, Rick Sanchez, Eric Lory. There you go. The playoff drivers highlighted in green, currently 2nd and 3rd. But again, a lot of trucks still to make their qualifying laps as we go. So again, once more, this is race number 2 of 4. After tonight, we'll be going next week to Atlanta Motor Speedway before our playoff and season finale at Daytona. And again, a little off sequence on the schedule side, just unfortunately due to some hiccups on the Thursday side. So Thursday, we will actually be beginning our playoffs here on Thursday, August 7th. I think it's August 7th. My calendar sometimes shows it wrong. It might actually be the 8th. But anyway, this upcoming Thursday will be at Talladega. So basically, when we start race number 1 over there, obviously we'll be switching over. So it'll be a week and a half behind, unfortunately. And then also on the Tuesday night side, I say we've got the open wheels with the Area 51 Dark Horse Series. Same thing coming towards the end there as well. Coming up on Tuesday night, we'll be at Texas, followed by Kentucky and Auto Club. So 3 really fast ovals to finish up the season over there. No playoffs over there, but again, still great racing over with those guys as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see. As always, really appreciate everybody watching, joining here, and supporting, cheering on your favorite drivers. And as we've always said, feel free to chime in, let us know who you're watching, who you're supporting, because I'm always game to try to give a little extra camera time to those, and makes it easier too to try to be able to focus on some people. And I'll be joined here very shortly by my esteemed colleague, Mr. Matt Wagner. Not a rare sight for him over the Superspeedway side, on track or in the booth. So let's say he's working on getting some sound settings dialed in. Right now, it looks like we've got 20 trucks here taking the grid tonight. We'll see if all do wind up making it tonight. So before we get into all of that, though, let's go ahead and pull up our starting grid, as it will be Peter DeBorgia on pole position. He's had a really good run in these last couple of races, so always a pleasure to have him. Again, also a little bit of bias because he does such a great job. He's helped me so much with the broadcast, getting, again, those great overlays with the highlighting the playoff drivers and all that. So big thank you to Peter for all his help. Right outside of him, Vicente Guerrero there in that number 14 truck. Rick Sanchez 3rd, Bud Steele, Eric Lory there in the top 5. Again, talk about some of our playoff drivers there. They are all right together here. Dude Conrad, our points leader after the first race. He sits there in 6th. Jack Walls, Jacob Lee, Nick Wing, Mike Rimkus are top 10. Jason Bogart, Kevin Fries, 11th and 12th. We'll continue working our way down. Gabe Butler back on track here tonight. Always good to see Gabe. Again, I say he's still just doing everything he can. He's being a great husband, taking care of his wife, and so he's able to take a little bit of a breather and get some racing in. So always good to see Gabe. Then you got Patrick and Seth Groover there, 14th, 15th. Jerry Bergeron there in 16th. Jim Brooks, Corey Buzzkirk, Brandon Briggs, and Jimmy Reynolds will be our top 20 drivers here this evening. So with that, let's go ahead and try to find our drivers here. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, there they are. They're going to be hiding down there. And so you can see they're already past there, but we'll get them down over here. We'll pull up that ticker to show our starting grid one more time. And again, you'll see those trucks highlighted in green are the playoff drivers. So right now, the highest of those qualifying will be Vicente. And again, you can see, though, a lot of playoff drivers, though, in that top 5, even us, I think, all the way pretty much to that top 6 position. Then a couple non-playoff drivers there, Jack Walls and Jacob Lee, as you see the pace cars start to roll off. And Matt, I say this is also not even the easiest not even the easiest front stretch to roll off here. We've even seen some cars loop it a little bit, just trying to get these things out, just because of the banking at this track. I always like to refer to it as a kind of a Dover on steroids, with the way you kind of drop into the turns and you jump out of them, except you're doing it at 220, 230 miles an hour. So these guys really got to be on top of their game. And of course, the very, very treacherous entry to turns 1 and 3. So if you hit that apron, you're going to pretty much have a bad time. And it looks like we got 19 trucks that have gridded. I'm unfortunately not seeing Jimmy Reynolds at the moment. We'll keep an eye on him. Hopefully he's able to pop in here. We'll jump over to that front row, like I mentioned, of Peter DeBorgia and Vicente Guerrero. And yeah, so again, 75 laps here tonight. Fuel window is going to be, this will definitely be one of those races where the trucks will have the most fuel in them. And this is also a track where, more often than not, you will go trapped a lap down here on pit road for a green flag pit stop. So pit strategy is going to be important. I think this will definitely be a race where drivers will want to run it longer than their competition, just to avoid that risk of getting trapped a lap down. We'll keep an eye on the fuel mileage. I want to say, again, it just depends on the fuel that they put in these things. And of course, with iRacing, the build updates, sometimes it's not always the same as what it was, but I want to say it'll probably be in the low 20 window. If not even in the high teens. So it just really depends on if it's going to be a 3-stop or potentially even that 4-stop. So we're going to have to wait and see. That said, though, pace car is just about to make that sharp left off. It's going to hand it over to our front row. Flagman will control the start. And so they're going to... Yep, waiting. And then we'll see these guys go. There's the flag. Here come the trucks. And we are underway here, Matt, tonight. 19 trucks on track at the moment. 75 laps here at iRacing Superspeedway.
Did I mention this is one of my favorite tracks that we go to on the schedule here in Area 51? Nope. Most people don't like it, but I'm actually a very big fan. Back in the Papyrus days, I actually own this track, so.
Now I definitely am saying, but I really love this track. And see, Peter's got the pole, but he said, you know what, I'm just going to jump top. I'm going to roll on back here. So again, his goal, he's made no qualms about it. His goal is to try to be a supporter for his team. So he's going to roll back and be ready to help his guys out where he needs. And say, so really, that's going to be what Eric Laurie and what the Ada Dude Conrad. They've got some good, very talented helpers with them. Obviously, with Peter DeBorgia, with Kevin Freeze, Gabe Butler. Say those 3 drivers not in the playoffs. They've got some pretty stout assistants there. And then you see there Bud Steele at the moment at the point. Same thing. Bud's been finding some good help recently as well. Jack Walls is going to do everything he can to help out as well. Jacob Lee seems like he's been kind of a new addition to working with the Roswell guys, and we know how good Jacob is as well. So it's been a really good group, and I think it's one of those things, just you got to try to find those guys. And because, you need the help. You can't win these things very easily on your own. I've seen some times where that 5 truck, though, he's found a way to get these things without anybody kind of teamed up formally with him in the Discord. So saying, as he's rocking that Rick Sanchez helmet there, looking real good.
Wow, he used to help me get a win.
Well, I say that's what he's got to do. He's got to try to make the friends, and that way it's like, all right, he helped me. Let me go work with him. But obviously, Matt, you and I, we've raced with him time and time again. He's a top-notch driver, really nice guy too, and so yeah, he's always a pleasure to work with. So,
and some fans in the YouTube, by the way.
Yeah, so he's always got some good support here. Haven't seen him chime in yet, but I'm sure we'll see him soon. See Eric Laurie, he's going to jump up top, probably dropping back to his buddies here. You can see them all a little bit further back. The 8, the 25. There's the 40 truck. I say we're gonna have some twin trucks here tonight with the 88 and the 40. You see Peter DeBorgia there. I say again, he kind of threw that the scheme kind of just that Gabe would run just kind of to be nice and show it off. And then just in front of him, same truck, this time in the back to the number 88 that we're used to. So again, love seeing Gabe back here tonight. Hopefully he's able to enjoy himself tonight, hang out with his buddies, and I'll say again, then Gabe being Gabe, we'll probably see him in the top 3 at some point in this one. But right now, Matt, things settling in a little bit already.
Yeah,
a lot of these guys staying calm.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. These guys are single file, but never mind. I'm looking way back deep in him with Jerry Badger. Is that Jerry Corey Buskers from the 998?
Yep.
And I think that's Jerry Bergeron back there, too.
That is. I was saying the big run here out of 4. We'll see if they go to the third lane.
And the 21? Who
that 21, Jacob Lee. Yeah, Jacob Lee, Bud Steele. But we're going to get our first 3 wide here at the moment. Corey's going to grab that second spot.
He's going to clear him.
We'll see if
They're both going to clear him.
Can they clear the inside line? Is going to be the question. That's going to be no, not yet.
I really think in their position right now that second groove is going to play a little back. Jerry got a little bit squarely off the corner there.
Yeah, so right now, it looks like these guys are just really settling in. And again, Matt, I think this is a strategy that we're used to seeing with the drivers in this league, especially at a track like this, because, again, it's a very, very difficult track to get in and out of pit road on. I mean, you got a huge banking transition you got to jump right out of and try to get down to speed. Speaking of, let's pull up that dashboard. I can tell you. So right now, these guys going 213 here in the front with the lead pack. Again, these guys aren't cracking the whip full tilt here. Same thing, Bud Steele, 212. So a little slower than what we've seen before. But again, I don't think these guys are kind of going full song right now. I think these guys are just kind of biding their time. You can see Bud Steele, he's opened up a little gap here into those trucks in front of him. That's allowing Brandon Briggs now to try to creep up. Unfortunately, he was not able to make the race last week, so he's got some work to do to try to gain some points over these next 3 races. Just try to get the highest he can in the playoffs for himself as well. So I was saying Brandon's one of those ones again. I mean, we've seen him season after season just been improving and then making the playoffs this year. And it's one of those things that's what we love to see too, is just to see all those strides that we see from these drivers week in and week out. Yeah, so right now, though, like you mentioned, Matt, the highest climbers are those 2 we saw move to the front early. The 998, Corey Buskirk, he's up about 14 spots. Jerry Bergeron up 11 spots. Brandon Briggs up 11 spots as well at the moment. So like I said, those guys opting to try to get a little bit of track position early. However, unfortunately for Brandon now, he's kind of trapped on that second lane, nowhere to go. We'll see if anybody tries to maybe give him a little bit of room here.
I bet you the Gruber brothers let him in.
Let's see. Patrick will be the first. I see a big opening. Well, as soon as I say that, though, there's that entry to 3. Again, that's one of those places where it gets real tight real early.
Yep, you're right. Let him suspect. Yep, they let him in.
So what we're going to do, Matt, we got a single file train. Before we get too far along with things, we got to show off one of our wonderful Sensi sponsorships, because unfortunately I don't see the 48 car of Ryan Decker, but Caitlin and Ryan, they always are great supporters of the league. So we'll jump side by side real quick. If anything happens, we'll cut right back.
At Sensi, we love fragrance. How it makes us feel. How it connects us to our deepest memories. How sharing those memories connects us with each other.
And as it turns out, there's a lot of people who feel the same way and share Sensi's core values of simplicity, authenticity, and generosity. Our beautiful campus in Meridian, Idaho welcomes employees, consultants, and the community year-round.
That's why we've grown from selling just warmers and wax to selling a complete line of products, so you can fill your life with fragrance no matter where your day takes you.
Whether it's fun partnerships with beloved brands, innovative, high-performing cleaning products, laundry care that smells as good as it works, or personal care products to create your signature scent, Sensi products are made to share.
Maybe that's why our culture has always felt like family. We call it Sensi Spirit. It's a feeling of love, acceptance, generosity, and community that we share freely with everyone we meet. And we welcome you to experience it yourself. Like it? Buy the product. Love it? Host a get-together with your friends. Want more? Start your own Sensi business. You can earn amazing trips around the world and rewards. You can work your business whenever and wherever you want, giving you more time for the things and people that matter most. Ask your Sensi consultant for more info.
All right, we are back. As you can see, not a lot has changed. He's again, Brandon Briggs, though, Matt. He's been trying to work that second line, trying to get a little further forward, and just again hasn't had the drafting help yet. As right there, you saw Jacob Lee. He rolled out of it just a tiny bit there, and you saw that's where the according kind of comes into. Got to be careful there as well, though, because it's you check up, the guy behind you's got to check up, and then kind of it just continues there on back. So, what I'm wondering though, Matt, like I said, this is very early for these guys to be kind of settling and riding. So I'm wondering, is that we had that race not long ago where it kind of was a fuel mileage race right off the get-go for a couple guys that went full strategy right off the bat, kind of being led by Nick Wing, kind of making the strategy call there in that 28 truck. So wondering if they're maybe looking at their numbers already, maybe over practice, said, you know what, we might be able to make this on one less stop than if we go full send. So, and kind of the telltale on that one is, I mean, look at Brandon Briggs. I mean, he's still creeping up the mix here. I say, and he's pulling forward without any real help here too. So that kind of tells me that there's definitely something to be said about this pace may not be full tilt right now, which means the two trucks that are going to be getting the worst mileage at the moment. Obviously, Brandon right now rolling the top, and then right now our race leader Rick Sanchez there in the 5 truck, because basically, this is what he's seen all race. He's seen a bunch of trucks in his rear mirror. Right now, you got Jack Walzer right behind him, and I'm guessing that's a Bud Steele paint scheme that he put together. I say we always joke about Jack always run the yellow Pennzoil scheme. He's got Walls oil on board now in that number 83 car. So I love the little kind of the plays on words and just kind of the original stuff that these guys like to do from time to time. And we'll see a lot of teams will or drivers will bounce between different paint schemes and everything like that. So it's always fun to see.
Yeah, I saw that in the Discord about. I was waiting for Jack Walls to get back to use that. But if I was Brandon Briggs, I would probably side draft the 998 like nobody's business, and probably get myself forward here just a little bit. Save a little bit of extra fuel because you're out there by yourself. Because right now he does have an opening right behind the one truck there, and right behind Bud Steele. I just there you go. Now you tucks in right behind there, Jerry. There.
Yeah, that's something you got to do.
Yeah. So I think these guys are probably going to come in here, either this lap or probably the next lap.
Yeah, so if it's that early, that tells you that there's going to be a lot of pit stops. And I see already a couple trucks jumping top. That tells me Rick's probably in this time in the 5. But that's not a good thing either, because if that's the case, he's probably coming in solo. No, he's going to have some help here. But, man, so based on that, man, we're going to have a lot of pit stops tonight.
So these guys are probably going to come in the next stop.
So, yeah, so that was coming to lap 14. Now we've got the 5, the 998, the 81, and the 79. They're all in together. Let's say you got the 5, 998, 81. Those are playoff drivers. That's going to now put Jack Walls to the point here in that number 83 truck. Jerry Bergeron to his outside. Now a little separation here from those top 9 trucks now back to Gabe Butler. Just over about just under a second. Now it's starting to creep the right way again. I can tell you Rick's already rolled out of pit road, about an 8.8 second stop, 8.9 for Brandon. A little longer for Mike and Corey, so they've got a little separation. Yep, here comes the next pack, though. And yeah, Matt, I'm running some numbers right now, and Yeah, you definitely need to do some fuel strategy on this, because if you want to try to make this race on 4 stops, you need to average 15 laps per run. And so the group by Rick and them, again, they pitted coming to lap 14. That last pack there came in pitting coming to lap 15. These guys here, again, I would presume we'll expect to see all these guys hit pit road this time around, which will bring them in coming to lap 16. But what I can tell you, though, is, and you can see it right here, the Groovers were able to get around that truck of Mike Grimkus, behind Mike Grimkus in front of the 998. So they actually had a little bit of breathing room on entry. As you can see, it looks like these guys all in together cleanly as well. So fuel strategy-wise, I really like these 8 here, because they've definitely done the job of saving fuel the best.
Whoa. That was
So
really close between the Groovers and all that there. I was looking at the replay. Oh, my goodness. Woo.
So now just got to make sure everybody hits their pit stall. I also keep it on the 54. I'm not sure if I saw maybe had to throw it in reverse there for a split second, but hopefully all is well there for him. Looks like he should be good. So now that's going to leave. Now the question again is going to be how quick in and out of pit road these guys get. Right now it looks like they've all got out pretty cleanly together. So now, though, it's going to be Vicente Guerrero and Nick Wing. They're leading this group. And, of course, after this cycles through, we'll kind of keep an eye and see kind of who's in the main pack, who's fallen off the main pack. Right now, Vince is going to be watching ahead of him to keep an eye. And here goes some of those trucks that he had just passed, or as he's passing, that had just pitted. And, again, now this is actually a good strategy for them, too. If they can really push the issue here, force these trucks right now to really have to burn their fuel to get back to this draft.
Right.
That's going to be their best goal here for them. But I think the Groovers definitely safely in the pack. Rick Sanchez, see him clear by Jerry Bergeron about to sneak by as well. But yeah, Gabe Butler, though, he's definitely done the best out of those guys that pitted that last time around, as he's now safely in this draft. Jim Brooks he's on the outside looking in right now. He's about a second back on Gabe, so he's going to same thing. He's going to have to be full pedal down here. We'll see if he can pull back up to Gabe. And then you got some of the 4 Boondocker guys, Eric Laurie, Duke Conrad, Kevin Fries, Peter DeBorgia. They're going to be drafting hard to pull themselves back up there. So I can tell you that Jim is going back the right way. He's within half a second, so he's got these guys. Now it's going to be up to Eric Laurie and company. Just basically, you're going to see some big drafting by these guys, which it's going to burn fuel, but I mean, they have to.
Yes, that was really nice of Gabe. That was really, really thoughtful of Gabe. He backed up for Jim there, and was able to catch the draft there.
So right now, Matt, my to me advantage goes to Gabe and Jim here, because they got back up there pretty quick. You can see already Eric Laurie and stuff. They're right back there as well here, and so yeah. So it's looking like one of those situations again where this might be a race where these drivers they don't want to lead, because again the fuel situation. So we'll have to keep an eye. But I can see, unfortunately, 2 trucks did fall off the main pack. That's these 2 right here, Mike Grimkus and Corey Buskirk. And then, yeah, for the drivers that were catching up, Peter DeBorgia ran a 49.04 compared to the leaders running a 50.83 Brennan Briggs. So he was almost 2 seconds a lap quicker.
Right.
So, yeah, so these guys all have realized, we got some fuel situations we got to deal with.
So if I was the guys who paid, like, Rick Sanchez, all of them, I came in early, they're like a lap short, because you definitely can't make it if you can't. You have to follow through for the first stop. If I was them, I would pit very early, like probably the next maybe 5 laps.
It just depends if they think they can save it.
Yes, just to make those guys really drop off their pace there.
And again, this is all based on this going green start to finish too. But what we have seen right now is Kevin Fries, Gabe Butler, they said, you know what? We did all that saving that first run. Let's push here. We're going to try to, I think they're trying to build the pace back up in this race to kind of force the other drivers' hands to burn more fuel again to make sure that they can't make it to the end. So I think that's what we're seeing out of the 88 and the 25. Well, we don't know for sure, obviously, but I mean, they know going into this second run, again, looks like it's going to be a 4-stopper. So I think that's what we're going to be seeing here is these guys just having to try to hustle this thing as best they can. So, and I mean, look how much it's spread out the pack already here, Matt.
Yeah, if I was him, like I said, before. I would pit way early, make those guys back off the pace. That is probably the smart strategy here.
Yeah, exactly right.
But these guys, I'm looking at Nick Wing, I'm looking at Jack Balls, looking at Bud Steele, all of them. They have lost touch with the 5-car draft here. These guys are gonna have to go and do something.
Yeah, you're right. They're
Now,
1.3 back.
They are getting left behind.
Yeah, so now it's just do you want to burn the fuel, or do you want to and stay in the draft, or do you want to just run your fuel number? It's kind of strategy, and you're exactly right, Matt. This is a really good call by Gabe and Kevin to kind of force the hand of some of these other drivers, and it's the Groovers right now that are going to react to it. They said, we don't want to lose this pack. But again, though, they're 2 seconds back now after this. So it's going to be a lot of legwork by these two. Vincente Guerrero, he's going to jump with them as well.
Oh, I'm watching 81. Is that the 81 there? Dropping off there?
Looking. Yeah, he is actually. He's jumped way to the top here. He ran the fastest lap of the race, that last lap of 48.86. But yeah, he's kind of dropped anchor a ton. I can tell you the gap's going back the right way. And it seems like there's something going on with the 81 truck. You saw it slide back down there and then kind of have a little bobble and move back up.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, not sure what happened to Brandon there. He should be able to slot back in and stay in the main draft. But yeah, so
I didn't see him hit the wall or anything.
No, it's an odd one. And then just a quick update. So Mama Groover. Yeah, so the heart on the back of Rick's truck is it's for Genie. So say again, these guys they're top notch guys, and we'll get a good look here back on the back of it. Just basically it's
look at Peter's paint scheme too.
Yeah, I'll say just giving love to Genie by him and a lot of the other guys too. So yeah, it's a really good group of guys, and I say they're all definitely there to try to help each other and be there for each other when needed. So what I can tell you is, man, it did not take those Groovers long, man. I mean, they gained a little bit off center there, but they gained 2 seconds in about a lap and a half. So it can be done. The question is how aggressive do you want to be? Seth's now going to take the point. Looks like Patrick's going to slot back in here. Got his brother to the front and said, okay, let me drop down. Probably try to cool his truck off a little bit too. I'm sure that truck was getting hot. So I'm intrigued now, Matt, because now the top 3 trucks are trucks that pitted on lap 15 coming to 16. But then you got the trucks that pitted on 15 that have stayed in this main pack here and didn't make that big charge, like Jim Brooks, Eric Laurie, Dude Conrad, Peter DeBorgia. So those are 4 trucks, 3 of which are playoff contenders that didn't take the bait to drop the hammer and go full aggressive to get back up there, which should mean that their fuel's still even a little better than those guys that made that early attack, like Seth and Gabe and Kevin and company. So yeah, it's it's all based on this thing going green start to finish. If a caution comes out, throw all your numbers, everything out of the window. Again, right now, based on the numbers, these guys need to go 15 laps per tank. We know that some of these guys went to 15, almost to 16, or pitted coming to 16. But then we had some of the guys like the 5 truck, he pitted coming to 13. So like Rick, I think he's going to have to just go full fuel save this run. This is actually his next couple runs, probably just to try to make sure he can make it. Just save. And then once it's time, he can then try to see if he can kind of go for it. So it's going to be interesting to see who's able to save the most over this cycle. And right now, he and Brendan Briggs are actually the only 2 that pitted at lap 13 coming to 14 that are still in this main pack. Unfortunately, like we mentioned, Mike Rimkus, Corey Buskirk, they are still kind of out here on their own. And they're running about a second and a half or so, usually about or so slower a lap at the moment.
So we had an Xfinity race here not too long ago on Thursday, and it was a fuel mileage banger. So if I remember correctly, the time to come into pits, fuel your truck, come back out, I think it was about either 39 to 42 seconds. So I'm looking back at Nick Wing, and he's. Let me look at this. I can't break up everything. They have caught up to that pack.
Yeah, no, everybody's back together. And I can tell you actually, Matt. So I have a little tool with, again, using our overlays and stuff that show the great let's say the great stuff from SDK, kind of showing off the timing, scoring, all that. So I get a lot of tools and toys that I get to look at while things are happening, and I can tell you that the pit lane time, one of the quickest was Rick Sanchez. He had 42.6 seconds in pit lane. So that tells you. So yes, I mean 40 to like low to mid 40s. It looks like is about what you want to aim for. I said Rick did by far the best, though. He was in and out of there 42.6. I think the next closest I see is in the 44 window by Vicente Guerrero. So I mean he had 2 seconds that he was in and out through pit lane quicker than the rest of the field. So yeah, so he nailed his entry and exits, getting to his pit stall and everything there. So, but yeah, so yeah, right now, Matt, like I said, this is just a strategy call right now with these guys. They know, like you said, it's a really long pit road. These guys are going again 220 plus when they're actually kind of going full send. So you're not going to make that up, even if you try to do something off strategy. So all these guys, they got to try to run a number here, and it's I'm sure what not a lot of guys want to do. We know it's Kevin Freese's favorite thing to do. He loves fuel mileage racing in that number 25 truck, but I say that's the card they're dealt right now. And again, we can kind of go back and attribute this where it's like, okay, again, they basically, the league and the admins, they intentionally try to make sure that they have the field number set. And I can tell you right now, actually, Brandon Briggs on pit road now, so field number not in his favor there, and unfortunately, he's going to be rolling in solo here.
Ooh.
But usually they make a point, they go out of their way to, and you see actually the groovers here. Looks like Patrick's opened up a spot for Seth. Seth's going to drop right in. So to me, that means probably either trying to save an extra lap of fuel or maybe going to have to try to pit this time. But again, they did pit at 15, so they're on the same pit window as Gabe and Kevin, so we'll see. But yeah, so usually what happens is the admins try really hard to make sure that it's not a fuel mileage race if it goes start to finish green. But again, unfortunately, with the new iRacing build, it's changed the fuel mileage a little bit, and so that's throwing the drivers and the admins for a little loop, it looks like. And here we go. Rick's in. He's going to bring Jerry with him, but Jerry's a little ways back here. So he was able to get to lap 28, coming to 29. So I think he did gain a lap, Matt. But again, though, now the issue is, again, like we talked about, he's going to have a really good pit entry, a really good pit exit, a fast pit stop, because he's going to not have much, if any, drafting help here in that number 5 truck.
I'm going to be watching the 32 truck right now because he was leading that pack for a while. I'm just quite interested if he's going to run out of fuel before he gets to his pit stall here.
Yeah, and that's it's going to be the question now is, we got to watch Gabe and Kevin. We got to watch Seth and Patrick. And I'm going to be very intrigued to see what happens with Jim and company too, because again, I see Jim already. He's leaning to the outside line. He's going to go one more, and here comes
he's
a
going to
handful.
Go one lap. I'm shocked, actually. I'm very shocked.
So here comes a good group of trucks. Looks like a little bit of contact. Jack Walls, Jason Bogart. Looks like they're going to be okay though. So should be able to get away with that one. But yeah, so that's going to bring 6 trucks in together. And again, this is now lap 30, Matt. So these guys are going to try to now, it looks like most likely try to come to pit road to lap 31. So based on those numbers, like I said, this is getting them nicely into that window to be able to make it on 2 more stops to the end. Like I said, other drivers may not be in the best of spots, but I'm expecting to see I think we'll see all of these guys here in together, these top 8 all together. So once more time, they got to make sure they come in nice and clean, give each other lots of room. And yeah, here they all come. Oh, Peter with a big entry there in the 40. Saw him creep up right on the back of the groovers there. I think got it back down in time.
Oof.
And I can tell you that so far everybody has had a clean pit stop, no penalties thus far. Like I said, now the next question is going to be see where everybody cycles out with one another. So again, Peter DeBorgia, our pole sitter, so he is going to be the first stall. Looking to see, don't see any reverses. See a couple trucks throwing some tires on some lefts, some rights. And we're about to see everybody drop and roll. Eric's a little long there. We'll see if he's able to hold on to the back of these guys. But, oh, yeah, I'm a little worried about Eric right now, Matt. Eric's a little further back than I think he'd like to be here.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Yeah, he's in trouble.
Once again,
But
though, Gabe Butler, I mean, his in and outs have been just incredible. He has just been able to, by far, be the quickest one in and out of pit road. So, but one more time, though, now we got to find the guys that already pitted. Here they come. And I'm going to say the second pack, though.
Eric's going to catch.
If he can tag on, if he can tag on to the guys, he might be okay. But this is really spreading out already here. So this is going to shake up a little bit. But the one that's getting the most damage out of this, though, unfortunately, is that 5 truck. He had to come in on his own again, and
ouch,
he just doesn't have the help. So right now, like I said, it's gonna be Rick's gonna probably have to fall back to Eric, and they'll just try to basically do some damage limitation. I can tell you, Jim Brooks, he's got there. Dude Conrad's right there as well. So of the playoff drivers now, to me, again, the ones that look to be in the best shape are gonna be Dude Conrad and now Jim Brooks. Those two pitted at 30. Actually, I'm sorry. Also, the Groovers, I apologize. They're also looking really good. So I think 4 of our playoff contenders, I think those are the 4 that look the best as things run. But again, now, Matt, they're leading. They're going to be burning more fuel. But as I say that, here's Seth. He's going to jump top. Again, I think it's going to be that fight. Just nobody wants to lead. And unfortunately, it looks like we have a retirement. I think Brandon Briggs may have retired from tonight's event, unfortunately. Again, it's like he just wasn't having the night he was looking for early on there. So I can tell you that Rick is working on actually.
Peter dropped off to pick Eric.
Peter's dropping back to pick up Eric, which will then in turn they'll pick up Rick, and then they'll try to see what they can do time wise. So, but yeah, so like I said, these guys. I was saying that we talked about that. I mean, that's what Peter's got to do. Is his goal is to try to help his teammates. I'm a little surprised that I haven't seen Gabe and Kevin do the same. I kind of thought they would all kind of jump back and try to grab him. But yeah, right now that hasn't happened yet. But what we'll do is once we get to that window, we'll see. Once they get all together, we'll see kind of what lap times they're able to pull out. So and say Brandon just chimed in and say just wasn't happy with the way things were going with the single file racing, and kind of just right off the bat turned into a fuel mileage race. And like I said, I mentioned a little earlier, Brandon, just unfortunately. With the new build and everything, it changed the fuel mileage of the trucks, and just like I said, normally these things are set up intentionally to make sure that doesn't happen. So, but this pace has slowed down significantly, Matt, because remember how Rick was by himself?
Yeah,
he's already back somehow in this draft. So Rick is good. What we're seeing though is we're seeing what I was just mentioning though. Now the boot knockers are all starting to drag back a little bit, make sure that they can pick up Dude Conrad, make sure they pick up Peter DeBorgia, pick up Eric Laurie. That way they can get all of them back together here. So yeah, so right now, honestly, once again, I really like where Jim Brooks is. He's done a really good on the fuel mileage. You can see again, nobody wants to lead.
My goodness.
And that's going to be the issue now, Matt, is going to be who do you have that can actually make the fuel strategy work that you have to work with you. So when you go into that approach now, to me, the advantage goes to Dude Conrad, goes to Eric Laurie. They have the numbers and teammates. Really, Jim Brooks' best opportunity is going to be he needs to probably try to see if he can tag along with Seth and Patrick Groover, because none of his teammates were able to go to lap 30. So all of those guys are going to be in a tougher spot. And I mean, I can tell you right now, the pace, I mean, they've thrown a restrictor plate on top of a restrictor plate right now. These guys are now going, last lap was a 53.13, whereas their best laps were in the 48-second bracket. So they've dropped this thing down 4 or 5 seconds because they know, hey, we don't have the fuel to make this, so we're going to go slow. And Gabe and Kevin say, go for it. You guys go slow. We're going. So, and now everybody's starting to jumble up a little bit. Now with that happening, they're going to make the big push here. But now we'll see. Will they try to chase these two back down? It looks like, once again, Patrick's going to go for it. I don't think Nick was really too interested in trying to chase them down. So, again, these guys got to make sure that they don't beat themselves now. This is, right now, without a yellow, this is a full-on strategy race that we're getting here tonight.
Out of all the cats out here, I think I'm looking at Rick. He's definitely going to have to save some fuel, because that last time by, he pitted by himself, and you see how far back he was. It's definitely going to hurt him.
Yeah, no, Rick is right now, he's definitely, of our playoff contenders of our lead pack, he's in the worst spot, unfortunately. I said he led too many laps early, which it's the polar opposite of what you would think you need to be doing. You want to be up front, controlling the race, leading laps, but unfortunately, in doing so, that's burned a lot of his fuel. And like I said, then he's been off sequence of the other guys, and the guys that did pit with him weren't able to stay with him as he was was too good in and out of pit road. So, like I said, it looks like we have a couple other guys have kind of pulled out and retired as well, including Jerry Bergeron and Mike Rimkus. So that's going to leave us 15 trucks in this lead pack here. Right now, Corey Buskirk, unfortunately, he's kind of rolling solo right now in that 998. He's about to get put one down. But yeah, so I mean, outright racing-wise, these guys probably not the happiest. Strategy-wise, though, there's a lot that's going to be interesting to see what happens here. And I think what's going to happen now, Matt, to me, is they're going to catch that 980 of Corey Buskirk, and then I think these guys are just going to drop anchor behind him. I think it's like, you know what? You be the one to break the draft and lead us here. None of us want to lead, so, and then this also lets you be the tail end of the lead lap as well. So, yeah, this is... And you can see right now, I mean, look at these guys. They're all just jumping to the top. Nobody wants to lead one more time here. So, yeah, this is a very different race than what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, when fuel mileage comes into play, it's, as you would say, a lot of people are more careful. You don't see a bunch of, usually you don't see a bunch of yellows. Everybody's afraid to push the gas pedal in more than, put the foot to the floor and just go for it. But for me, as a sim racer,
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I just saw Jim Brooks. He takes leading, and then he's like, you know what? No, after you guys go on back by.
Oh. But anyway, as for me as a sim racer,
no, this is
I don't like it. That's just me.
This is pulling teeth because it is a strategy. Obviously, you and I did a race last night in a different league that turned into a fuel mileage race at the very end. But that's the thing is, it's one thing when it happens naturally and it happens at the very end of the race. It's hard to it's a hard pill to swallow when it happens right off the kick of the race and you have to save for 75 laps. So unfortunately, that's kind of, again, that's the hand they're dealt right now. Again, I know the admins, they're going to say, okay, next race here we're going to be making some changes and go from there. So like I said, there's lots going to happen, lots going to change. And again, I mean, we just crossed halfway point as well. So if a yellow comes out, though, I mean, it's all to play for. I mean, at that point, throw any strategy that you thought you had out of the way and go from there. So yeah. So again, my question marks are going to be some of the teammates that maybe can't pull off the fuel numbers that some of these other guys can. Again, like to me, I look at Jim Brooks and his Roswell teammates. He and Bud Steele are the two playoff contenders.
Right.
We've seen Nick Wing and Jack Walls. They're trying to help him out as well. But again, they all pitted at 29. Jim pitted at 30. What was I say that they're big checkup on the inside line? That's going to be where things can happen if there's a huge checkup like we just saw there where Nick Wing almost got, or I think did get into the back a little bit of Seth Groover. I mean, that's the thing is that when the pace slows down this much, that's the risk. You get that accordion effect. You kind of, someone runs into the back of somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, it's a tough position to be in. So, but right now, like I said, with the window we were talking about, these guys want to try to make it to 30 to go. So basically lap 45. Ideally,
right.
If they can go further, that'd be even better. If they can go to like 46, 47, that would be just gravy on top, if you will. But yeah, so again, if they can make it to 30 to go, though, Matt, that's going to be the goal. And I mean, it's obvious right now that this is now their goal. Is everybody's realized, hey, the guys that pitted latest, earliest, they've already got a step ahead of us. So we had to back down the pace. And so now that's where we saw some of the other guys really back down the pace. Then Kevin and Gabe said, okay, we're going to ramp the pace back up to try to burn more fuel off you guys. And it's just full on strategy right now.
I'm looking at Peter all in the back. He's just passing cars just by himself.
Yeah, so Peter found some IT work. He got around his restrictor plate, and so he's just going to pass these guys like nothing's going on here. And again, though, this might be where Peter's saying, you know what? I know I'm in the window where I can actually make it here full tilt to the end from here, so I'm just going to go. And you can see he's going to steal some draft. He's actually, it looks like, I think he's going to take the point in this race here basically over the course of a lap because, again, just nobody wants to push, nobody wants to lead. And so we're going to have And actually what it probably is Peter wants some good TV time in that number 40 truck, because he's got his twin truck there right behind him. So interesting. And Corey Buskirk, he has to pit again. He was running so long by himself. That's expected to see there. Unfortunately, coming to 33 to go, so we know Corey's not able to make that fuel window to make it on one more stop after this one. And again, Matt, that's going to be the big question mark, is going to be who is able to get to that 30, 29, 28 to go to then be able to hopefully make it to the last run. So, yeah, that's going to be the big question mark here.
All right. I'm seeing the call light up for Rick Sanchez. The question is...
it's still too soon. That's going to be coming at 32 to go.
Oh, my God. He's going to come in by himself again.
Yeah, no, this is not what the 5 truck is needing. It's like he's been doing everything he can, but again, as big of a track as this is, you can't save that much fuel. And so, yeah.
Yep, here he comes by himself.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And again, you hope that you have somebody you can work with, but again, I'll say he's been one of those guys that's been kind of a lot of times a solo driver, and unfortunately, this is where that teammates and the teamwork really is, again, just kind of a necessity, and you almost just kind of find someone you can partner up with. So right now for Rick, his best chance, all he can do is he just needs to be as aggressive as he can on getting into pit road, getting out of pit road, to kind of just limit the time loss that he's going to have by driving on his own. As you see the Groover brothers, they're said, okay, we want to get back to the front here because we know pit stops are about to happen, so they're going to push here, and they'll both clear Peter here, so they'll jump back 1-2. So again, they might be looking at their numbers and say, okay, at this point we know we can make it, and here comes a couple more coming in. This is coming to 31 to go for Nick Wing, Vicente Guerrero. So again, not quite as far as they want. However, potentially good news for Rick though, because now if he can get out in their draft, that's going to be some more help that he can have versus being by himself for 2 laps versus just the one. So yeah, but again though, I think for Rick though, he needs a caution to be able to get back into this race with the fuel mileage situation.
You don't be the spoil.
Yeah, this one's one you want the yellow, but you don't want to be the yellow. So
exactly.
So yeah, so now this time by Matt, we're coming to 30 to go. This is still just in that window range to make it. I'm thinking we'll see the Groovers come in this time. Yes, we do. And we're going to see everybody in. And yeah, okay. So I really thought this would be the time where we would see some drivers maybe try to pull off, as Peter's going to be a sandwich in the Groovers there. Now he's able to squeeze out between them. But again, now everybody's trying to fight for their pit stalls. I thought somebody would try to go that one extra lap, or at least have a couple guys go that one extra lap, but
impossible.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, though, it sounds like really good fuel saving by Bud Steele and all those guys, because they were able to gain that lap back. So great job by them. Everybody's trying to get their pit stalls. You see the Groovers out on the corner of your screen. They're already down and away. Jim Brooks down and away. Oh, Peter DeBorgia, 4 tires. This might pull him out of this draft here. We'll see. I'm a little nervous about this. This has really spread this field out now, Matt.
I think Peter will be okay. I think he's too tired.
I thought I saw 4th go on. No, he had a 15-second stop, so definitely 4 went on the 40 car.
Whoa.
But what I'm looking at is this, though. Look at from Patrick to Gabe, then look at the gap to Vicente. This is a that's a big gap to make up here. It just depends again on who's willing to push and who's going to kind of just drop the anchor, if you will. You see Vicente and Nick, they've caught him. They dropped the anchor. They said, okay, let's go back to saving. You got the Groover brothers leading now, so I'm watching to see if maybe they jump up at some point to try to not lead again. But this again, though, this is now where this group here, being led now by Jason Bogart, he's going to have to basically push here to try to catch these guys back up, because right now that gap is growing. It's over 5 seconds to the leaders here. So again, though, they want to save fuel, but they're going to burn fuel doing so. And I'm already seeing the field here, though. They're starting to fight amongst themselves, not wanting to lead this race. We saw the Groovers drop back just a second ago on the relative. I see Jim Brooks dropping back now down along with them. So, yeah, it's just what that's going to do, though, is I'm already watching the time. I mean, Jason it's as if these guys are going miles an hour faster than them, which they are, but not due to not due to outright speed, just due to the lack of nobody wants to push, nobody wants to lead. So, yeah, this is without a yellow. These guys, I think pretty much everybody's going to finish this race. I think there's going to be a pretty big sense of frustration at the end of this one.
Yeah, especially Kevin. He loves this type.
This is his favorite type of racing. So, but I can tell you, Jason and company, they are back. But now the question mark again, though, for you, Matt. How much fuel did Jason and them have to burn to catch back up to these guys?
A bunch.
So Jason had to go aggressive to catch these guys, Eric Laurie, Dude Conrad. And again, right now, the one who's in the worst fuel spot is this guy right here, Rick Sanchez in the 5.
Oh, yeah.
Vicente Guerrero, Nick Wing, they pitted at lap 44. So they were one lap further than Rick, one lap shorter than the other leaders here. So right now we've got a 2-lap window between first to 15th on the fuel side of things. So unfortunately, it looks like the 998 Corey Buskirk looks like he has retired from the event as well. That drops us down to 15 trucks in this race. All 15 trucks on the lead lap, and as you can see right now, these guys kind of rolling solo one more time here on the inside line. So we'll do one more time. We'll step away. We'll do another Sensi commercial, and we'll be back here in just a moment.
At Sensi, we love fragrance, how it makes us feel, how it connects us to our deepest memories, how sharing those memories connects us with each other.
And as it turns out, there's a lot of people who feel the same way and share Sensi's core values of simplicity, authenticity, and generosity. Our beautiful campus in Meridian, Idaho welcomes employees, consultants, and the community year-round.
That's why we've grown from selling just warmers and wax to selling a complete line of products, so you can fill your life with fragrance no matter where your day takes you.
Whether it's fun partnerships with beloved brands, innovative, high-performing cleaning products, laundry care that smells as good as it works, or personal care products to create your signature scent, Sensi products are made to share.
Maybe that's why our culture has always felt like family. We call it Sensi Spirit. It's a feeling of love, acceptance, generosity, and community that we share freely with everyone we meet. And we welcome you to experience it yourself. Like it? Buy the product. Love it? Host a get-together with your friends. Want more? Start your own Sensi business. You can earn amazing trips around the world and rewards. You can work your business whenever and wherever you want, giving you more time for the things and people that matter most. Ask your Sensi consultant for more info.
All right, we are back. And what we're going to do now is we haven't got to show off all the paint schemes on all of our drivers. We're going to run through the field here for our 15 drivers still in the race, as it is Bud Steele currently on point here. Matt and I are looking over at the lap times, and these guys have completely dropped anchor. Last time by, Bud Steele ran 7 seconds slower than his best lap in the race in the number 6 truck. But again, everybody's running to a field number now at this point. Right behind him is Kevin Freeze there in that number 25 truck. Jacob Lee right now sitting in 3rd position in his number 21 machine. In 4th is the 51 of Jim Brooks there. Right behind him, the number 5 of Gabe Butler in the 88 Guinness machine. And then Vicente Guerrero there again. Vicente pitted up 44. The first of those pitting up 44 versus 45 for the ones ahead of him. Nick Wing right behind him as well is one of those guys pitting at lap number 44. Got a couple trucks jumping to the top there. We'll keep an eye. We'll still focus on this here for the moment. You got Patrick Gruber there in the 54. He sits in 8th. Seth Gruber right behind him in 9th. And then right now rounding out our top 10 at the moment is Jason Bogart there in that number 10 truck. I can tell you up front though, Gabe and Kevin trying to basically pick up the pace one more time. Jim's tagged along with them. Jack Walls sits in the 11th spot in that number 83. Peter Borgia is in 12th in the number 40 machine. Then Eric Laurie in 13th in that 071. Dude Conrad in the 14th position in his number 8 truck. And then right now, the last of the trucks on this lead pack again. Unfortunately, the one in the worst fuel mileage position at the moment, though, that number 5 truck of Rick Sanchez. So that is our group. Yes, I can update as well on that one. Yeah, so the heart with the JB on the back of Rick's truck is indeed for Jeannie, Gabe's wife. Again, just being a great gesture. I say supporting their fellow drivers, and like I said, yeah, I say Jeannie's been going through some stuff, and so that's why Gabe's been missing for a little while. But I say she is home. She's still working on recovery. And so yeah, so just basically everybody's giving her all the love and best wishes, and I say that you can see it as well. You look at the side of that 25 truck, you see it on his door, you see it there on the side of that number 88 as well. So I want to say that it's on the side of the 51 as well. I painted that truck, but I can't remember. Yeah, I think I see it hiding over there. But yeah, Matt, pace back up again. These guys back in the 49-second bracket, but there was a point though I was watching Bud Steele. He was running about 5 seconds slower. A little quick hiccup there for the 51. I say again, have some insider info. I know the probably a connection or a satellite change for the internet on the 51 truck. So, but Matt, we still got about 7 more laps before that pit window should be open. But again, though, it's all about now who can get to that lap 60 mark. Yep. Ideally a little further, if they can go like 61 or something like that, because again, and then it's not even then that, it's also then at what point can you just crack open the whip and go full attack to the end. So there's a lot of thought here, a lot of strategy that could come into play. And again, that's all if we still go the scheduled distance. If at any point after this potential final green flag stop, if we get a yellow, throw everything out the window, everybody's going to come in, take as much fuel as they can throw back into these trucks, and then we'll see what these guys really have in store and what they can actually do with these trucks. But again, like I said, just unfortunately the hands there, the cards they were dealt, basically, it's turned this one initially into this field mileage race. But like I said, we know at some point these guys are going to kind of be able to crack the whip and get back after it. But right now, though, coming around the line here, we'll be at 20 to go. You see Gabe and Kevin, they've put themselves back to the front. Jim was the first to react to that move. He stayed right behind them back in third. The Groovers have responded as well. They sit fourth and fifth right behind as well. And then again, like I said, we got 6 with Bud Steele through to the number 5, Rick Sanchez. So again, for numbers, Rick pitted Matt last at lap 43. It was lap 44 for Vicente Guerrero and Nick Wing there, the 14 and the 28. And then everybody else, other than those 3 trucks, again, they all pitted at 45, coming to 46. So that's going to be the question mark. Like I said, if they can make it to 15 to go, you can still make it with some saving. But I think if you can go to 14 to go, I think that opens up a world of possibilities for you. And honestly, too, Matt, you talked about earlier, if maybe some guys maybe pitting early and just being aggressive. If they had done it from the get-go like you talked about, that could have been the move to basically not even have to worry about fuel savings. I mean, we've said it. These guys, there's been times where they've been running 5 seconds a lap or slower. Yes, pitting would have cost you about, let's say, 50 seconds, 45 seconds realistically, more so. That's honestly able to be, I think they could have made that up if they had kind of dedicated it from the get-go.
Yeah, time.
But it's just yeah.
You have to wait.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at Rick, and he's going to be the first one off pit road. Did he manage to save an extra lap?
He did go one. I think he did make. I think he gained 1 lap over that last run or over the last 2. I can't remember for sure, but I think he's gained 1. So I think his best hope is if he can pit coming to 16 to go. So not this lap, but next lap, I think he could pull the fuel save off. However, it just all depends on if he's able to find some people to draft with. My other concern, though, for Rick is he's been the kind of the caboose, if you will, of this draft group, which means he's had nobody behind him to give him some extra pushes. And that does go a long ways, is to have that truck behind you kind of either push you or push the air a little bit. So I do worry about the 5. I think he's definitely going to be the one in the worst fuel position. No, he's coming in now, Matt, and that's coming to 17 to go. So he needs a yellow. That's all there is to it. The 5 truck, just he needs a caution to come out. And honestly, again, I think it's actually, I'm going to say there's a good chance of one because nobody's raced yet. So once they get to that window, it's like, okay, time to race. It's going to be one of those situations where, wait, what do we do? What works? What doesn't work? Like they're not going to have, they'll have the history of them racing here before, but it's one of those things where you put yourself in positions and try things during the race, and then you'll know, okay, that worked, that didn't work. But I don't know. I just feel like tonight, though, they haven't been able to obviously put it to practice yet. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see kind of how it all shakes out. But you can see nobody's pitting here, so they are going to at least get to that 15 to go window because right now we're crossing line for 16 to go. So I think now the question mark, Matt, is could anybody go to 14 laps to go? Do we think someone can save an extra lap as well?
That's pushing it. I think people are trying to. Did see the pace drop off for a lap, maybe about 2 or 3 laps. That's a big question mark, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, we know we'll see Gabe and Kevin. I think they are pretty much committed to having to pit this time. I'm curious about some of the other guys that made it to 45, like a Bud Steele, a Jacob Lee. Could they maybe pull one extra lap in? Because what I'm also looking at, Matt, nobody's really been aggressive on pulling themselves back up to one another. Here comes, it looks like, yeah, so it's going to be a split decision here. I like what I'm seeing out of the Groovers. They're going to go a little further. Vicente, big send on entry. Hopefully got it down to speed there. But so he's going to hit pit road. So we're going to have about 6 trucks in. Gabe Butler, Kevin Freeze, Vicente Guerrero, Jim Brooks, Bud Steele, Nick Wing. But I think if they have the fuel here to get to pit road without sputtering, running out of fuel, I like where the Groovers are because right now they're building a gap over Jacob Lee, over Jason Bogart, Jack Walls and company. They've got about a second on them. So again, if they can keep this pace up and not have any sputters, they're also going to have that little bit more fuel here. Oh, Matt. 14 trucks still on pit road.
Oh no!
Too fast on entry.
Yep. Naughty, naughty.
All right, here come the Groover brothers. They're going to hit the pit road, bring the rest of the field that had yet to pit in along with them. And it looks like, once again, pretty clean entry. Jack Wall's a little further. I'm wondering if Jack might be... Yeah, he's shaking the truck. He's sputtering in the 83, so he's not going to be able to hold pit road speed. That could cost him the draft as well. I can tell you the 5 has lost the draft. Looking to see where everybody that came out of pit road are. Kevin Freeze, Nick Wing, Gabe Butler, and Jim Brooks, they're all together. Unfortunately, Bud Steele, he's fallen off these guys, so he's not there. And once again, though, it's the fight of who doesn't want to lead here. So, again, I'm putting big advantage right now to the Groover brothers. They're going to come out right together here, and they've got 1 extra lap of fuel. And, again, that group behind them, I think they've still been trying to fight over, hey, I don't want to lead. So... man, I'm feeling pretty good right now if I'm the Groovers here, if we go scheduled distance. And I can tell you that all of those guys that are able to go the extra lap, they all are going to get out of pit road, and they should have no problem merging with these guys as well. The Groovers, though, they're already gone. So we'll look out the back here, and yeah, so actually, no, it looks like they've tagged on to them. So yeah, so I think we're going to have the top 10 trucks all together. I think Nick Wing, he's dropped back to try to pick up Jack Walls and Bud Steele to try to help their chances out. Unfortunately, like I said, the 5 of Rick Sanchez, he's just got to wait and hope for a yellow to get back into this. Same thing goes for Vicente as well. Right now, Vicente is still on the lead lap, but he's going to need a caution to bring himself back into this. So, yeah, so right now, Matt, the top 7 trucks, they all pitted at lap 61. And then the 25, the 88, the 51, all pitted at lap number 60. But I don't think we're going to see the pace drop like we did before. I think we're going to start to see some real pace out of these trucks. And yeah, so I think strategy called by the Groovers right now. I'm saying right now, great job by these 2. And I'm starting to see the boot knockers. They're starting to build up momentum, trying to start to position themselves to be ready.
Yeah, that's really, really going to hurt Rick. By the time that's all said and done, he's probably going to go down a lap.
Right now, let's see. So he's coming into 3 now as they cross the front straightaway. They might get to him. There's definitely this potential that he may get lapped. However, like I said, right now he's not in a bad spot here. You see right now up on the top side, Peter DeBorgia, he's leading Jude Conrad. Kevin Freeze right there behind him as well. So you got 3 of the boot knockers running the outside lane here. Oh, big bobble there. There's the trouble.
Trouble.
Oh, everybody's kept it straight. I think we will stay green. I don't know how Patrick held on to that truck.
Oh my God.
Gonna go back and take a look what happened here to Patrick. You say he was already off. Let me go back a little further here. See if we can get a better look at this.
I'm hearing on the radio it just snapped on him.
Yeah, it just looks like it broke loose, and these guys probably have not taken tires all race long, but watch behind, though, with Gabe Butler, Jim Brooks, and company. These guys have to look at Eric go straight to the apron. Gabe to the apron. Oh, my God. Look at... Okay, we're going to go back one more time here. We're going to go at speed here. Watch from Jason Bogart. We are still under green. I do need to mention that. I don't think I went far enough back, did I? Let's go a little further. So here's a Jason Bogart sees. Oh, my goodness. That is very close. Let's jump back live, though. I can tell you, yeah, Patrick and Seth. So Seth's dropped back to pick up Patrick. Jim, I saying this. Oh man, this is really shaking up the group again because now you've got a bunch of the boot knockers are all together. Gabe Butler's there with him. Jim Brooks is having to try to pedal it to get back up to them. As we got 10 to go here, I think Kevin is starting to drop a little bit back as well. But again, though, it's just again who's had to burn the most fuel to get back up there. So this is very interesting. But the fuel numbers and everything, I can't tell you, unfortunately, for Nick Wing, Jack Walls and company, they just don't have the speed that they need to. And again, they're still having to try to run to a fuel number as well. So there's only so much that they can do. But what I can tell you right now, Peter currently leading in that number 40 truck. Looking out the back of his truck is his teammate Duke Conrad. You see Eric Laurie, the first truck on the outside line. He's got another teammate behind him with Gabe Butler. So right now, say we've got everybody back together. But again, Matt, the question mark was who had to burn maybe a little bit more fuel than they wanted to have to catch back up to the pack. So the guys in the best spots are those top 5. They all pitted lap 61. The Groover brothers as well. So the 3 outliers for me are Gabe Butler, Jim Brooks, Kevin Freeze. They pitted at 60, so they probably have to save a little bit more potentially. I think they should be okay, but again, just depends on how much they had to burn. But you can tell, though, now the pace has picked back up. Now these guys are actually racing. Rick's on pit road now in the 5 truck. I think he's just going to go ahead and get that splash done now, just get it done and over with early. I'm torn on that one. I think I kind of would have maybe just run it out and just in case of a yellow, just cycle back up with the field. But you never know how it's going to pan out. So right now, and actually looking to see, yeah, because Vicente right now is 1 down. So yeah, actually I would have stayed out if I was Rick there, because now Vicente is actually in the lucky dog position after all that's said and done.
Well, right. He's battling Vince for the lucky dog right now.
Well, he was, but now Vince has the spot. Actually, this is a long stop for the 5. Maybe too fat. Nope, now he's down and away. It's a long stop, though. Not sure about that. However, he will be 1 down, but now he needs to make sure he only stays 1 down.
Oh, I found out. He accidentally put 4 tires.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, this has not been a good race for Rick so far tonight, unfortunately. Just again and it all started off at the beginning, just with the fuel mileage and everything coming into play. So, but we do have up front, though, is now Eric Laurie's leading the way with Peter DeBorgia as his pusher. And so we're down to 7 to go. Like I said, everybody's going to start to pick up the aggression and start trying to make some moves here probably sooner than later. And, of course, everybody's watching their fuel gauge, too, deciding, okay, when can I actually make this charge to the front? You see the Groovers there swap position. Patrick rolling in behind Seth to become his pusher. We're also seeing Vicente very wisely. He's just staying in the back here, just saving fuel, making sure he's behind any potential incident that happens in front of him. Jack Walls on pit road actually in the 83. A little surprised by that because Jack actually went to 61. I thought he would have been okay on fuel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not sure there, but... yeah, so now these guys are starting, now you can see they're starting to get a little bit wiggly. You can see just, again, that pace is picking up. And, again, these guys probably have not really taken tires all race long, except for possibly Peter DeBorgia. I think Peter was one of those ones we mentioned that did take 4 at one point. And I thought it was a mistake, but honestly, might be a benefit. Jack's back out on track. I can tell you again now, he's going to be the second car one down as they run. As now Dude Conrad takes the point in that 8 truck, as we're going to next time by Matt, we'll be down to 5 to go.
Well, right now the whole top 5 is swarmed by the team we talk about pretty much every week. But I'm sitting here looking at the 21, the 32, 54, 51. How are they going to beat these guys? The other way to do it, you're going to have to go for that third lane.
Yeah, no, at some point the third lane's going to come into play. I mean, right now it's going to have to be the groovers that do it because right now they're the ones that are in the best spot for it. Because right now the 10 and 21, I'm sure they love to try to go somewhere, but they're kind of pinned down right now, so they don't have a choice. And then, yeah, like I said, the numbers right now, you've got the 40 pushing the 071 on the inside line, the 80 and the 8. Here comes the first move here, though. There go the groovers. They're going to try to jump to that third lane, Matt.
Yeah, they're gonna need a third truck. That 2 truck. Oh, Bogart almost got.
And that's
25.
like I said, that's again, these guys haven't gotten super racy, so this is where things are going to start to have to kind of change a little bit.
A little bit off somewhere between the 54 and the 32. A little bit connectivity.
And that's not what you want there if you're Seth, because now Patrick disappearing. You're not going to get help. Now he's back, but yeah, but you're right though. The groovers they're going to need a third truck, but now they have to regroup. Let's say let Patrick's connection kind of settle back in. But yeah, they're going to have to find someone to make the moves. And I do see the 10 and the 21. They've jumped to the top now. Jason and Jacob. Jim's jumped up along with him. We'll see if maybe they try to work together here to make something happen because, again, I think right now if you're the top 5 with the boot knockers, your goal right now is you're just going to kind of control both lanes. So you're going to – it's like if you want to pass this, you've got to go to that third lane. These guys just got to figure out when to make that move at the right time. And you'll see they're coming up on that 5, unfortunately, of Rick to put him 2 laps down. So that's just
painful.
A heartbreaker.
Painful. Coming in leading the points and but never say never.
Well, and say this is also now where Rick could play a role in this again because now he's 2 down, so there's realistically probably no way that he's going to be able to get one of those laps back with a wave round or lucky dog, but he could maybe wave round if they all have to pit. All right, here we go though. Now the numbers starting to form here. The groovers are going to go. They're going to bring the 10, the 21, and the 51. So these guys are going to try to see if they can work with sheer numbers to get around them.
Coming up on the team boot knocker. Oh, they almost got the 25 on the door. But this is what you got to do to win the race. You're going to have to beat those guys.
Yeah, I mean you're going to have to start taking some risks. You're going to have to start pushing a little harder. Right now Seth just has the nose ahead. We got 2 to go here. Not enough to clear because now these guys, everybody else is going to start to push a little harder. Numbers are definitely in the favor of the outside line, but they've also got the furthest distance to go. So let's say the advantage is definitely going to be on the inside lines through the turns. Usually the outside line gets a good run off, especially if they can stay lined up here, Matt. We got a lap and a half to go to get the checkers. Half lap if we can get that white flag.
Oh, can we make it to the white flag? That's the question.
And then did everybody time their runs right to make sure they have enough fuel to the end?
That is a very good question. All the questions will be answered this final lap if they can get there.
Now the outside line starting to become a little bit disorganized here. They're starting to kind of change a little bit. The middle lane's starting to go
there. It is. White flag.
Yep, white flag's out. We have 1 to go here at iRacing. Dude Conrad currently our leader, being pushed by Gabe Butler. The Groovers still trying to run the third lane on their own. I think Jason and Jacob are going to try to get to that third lane here. They'll get the momentum. They'll jump up top. We'll see. Does anybody go with them? Because right now it's 2 versus looks like about 5 on the middle.
I don't know if the Groovers are going to go with them. You're going to have to do it. Yep, there they go.
They're going to go to the 4th lane here. Oh, it's squeezed there on the entry.
I would have gone with a third lane with some guys. It's the only way shot to beat the 2 boot knocker guys. But Ted's going to have a little bit of run coming off of turn number 3.
Yeah, he's going to get a big push
but
here.
Can he get there? He is awfully close. But at the line...
Oh, I think he got him.
He got it!
Jason Bogart, huge push at the end by Jacob Lee, will win this race. We're going to go back because we got to take another look at that because what a push. We'll double check, obviously, the timing and scoring. But from what we're showing on our end, we're showing Jason Bogart as our race winner here tonight. What a push. And also, Seth Groover was going to bring it home in fourth after all that, from what I'm seeing as well. What a job by those guys.
What a run. I knew they were going to have a heck of a run coming up in turn number 4, but was there a bobble by the 8 truck on the last lap?
I see.
did
I
see.
think Gabe may have sputtered there right at the end there. We'll back up a tiny bit more here.
I'm quite interested myself.
All right, we'll pause it right there. We'll try to change a couple camera angles here so we can get a better look at it. That is not the right one. There we go. Oh my goodness, Matt, look how tight this is.
He did.
Yeah,
He ran out of fuel.
Jason Bogart is our race winner here tonight in that number 10 truck. And then Jacob Lee, with all that pushing, is going to bring it home in third. My goodness, what a finish there. And somehow, I'll say, because we're going to back it up a little bit, because somehow I think they even had a little bit of fuel for burnout, so they did a really good job on the fuel saving. So before we get to the interviews, we will pull up our final results of the race. And did go caution-free. Jason Bogart winning by 0.005 of a second over Dude Conrad. Jacob Lee bringing it home in third. Seth Groover, Eric Lurie are top 5. Then you got Kevin Fries, Peter DeBorgia, Gabe Butler, Jim Brooks, and Patrick Groover are top 10, all in that lead pack. Bud Steele finishes in the 11th position there. Unfortunately, you can see there at the end, just outside of, still just inside the lead lap there. Nick Wing, though, 1 down, along with Vicente Guerrero, Jack Walls. Rick Sanchez there, 2 down in 15th. Again, just so that one hurts for me because it's like just nothing did wrong. Just the strategy with the way the fuel went just didn't go to his plan. And then early retirements for Corey Buzzkirk, Jerry Bergeron, Mike Rimkus, Brandon Briggs. And unfortunately, Jimmy Reynolds did not make the grid this evening. All right, so with that, we're going to go and find some people. And if I'm not mistaken, pretty sure this 21 fella's pushed some other drivers to some wins here. So we're going to go back. We're going to pick him up here. Matt's already done so. Grab this Jacob Lee guy. And Jacob, obviously, this was a tough one tonight because you guys had to just go full fuel strategy right off the get-go. You guys reacted really well because initially some of the guys had a lap on you. And then it was obvious that you guys saw the numbers like, okay, we gotta make a change here. And then, yeah, so you guys adjusted, got to the same fuel window, and then actually went one further than a couple of guys going to 61 instead of lap 60. But I think the thing to talk about, though, is the initial run coming about 2-3 to go. You guys are lined up behind the Groovers, make a charge, can't quite get there. We see you and Jason drop to the middle, clear them both. And then you guys, just lock on and just hell of a push at the end. Just take us through it because, that was wild.
Yeah, wild indeed. I apologize to everybody out there watching if you thought this was if you thought we were just pacing around racing. But like you said, it's a fuel mileage race for sure. And I'm glad it kind of worked out for us. There was at one point, me and Jason could have stayed out an extra lap at one point, and we decided to pit with everybody else. Then that last one, we were like, hey, let's chance it. We're going to stay out one more, and it worked out for us. I think we probably had 3 laps left over there at the end, so we were still good fuel-wise goes. So even if we would have gotten a caution, we could have still made it a green-white checker. But overall, a great race. A lot of fun. That ending there was phenomenal. So, I don't even know what to really say other than, the fans out there definitely got a show at the end. Probably not early on. It was probably not very fun to watch, but it definitely was a blast behind my wheel here. And like you said, yeah, the Groovers were taking that third lane, and that's kind of where me and Jason wanted to go. Unfortunately, we couldn't get up there. And the way they were bobbling around and stuff, we knew we had a shot if we could just get up there because me and Jason work really well together. We hook up and get rolling. And so I told him, I said, let's go to the middle line, see if we can get around them. And sure enough, we did. And that gave us that momentum to get to that third line and just give it all we got. So definitely shout out to, Groover there at the end. I know he was trying to go 4 wide there at one point, but he did give me a little shove, which kind of, I think, gave us that extra little nudge. So it was cool. It was a lot of fun there at the end.
Yeah, and I say that, and that's the other part too is you guys have to like you're fuel saving, and then finally after the last pit stop, you get a couple laps in. It's like okay, we gotta go. Like, was it one of those ones where it's just kind of like getting on a bicycle? It's like okay, I know this track and the truck and what we got to do, or was it one of those ones where it's like I got to kind of get refamiliarized almost with what's the right way to make things happen here? Because I feel like for me it was one of those ones where it's like you guys didn't really get a chance to really race until the very end. And I was like, so I was actually a little nervous about that, where it's like, man, these guys have to try to find their way to get comfortable again.
Now, honestly, this track is a really easy track to race for me, just the way I've got my wheel set up and stuff. But I mean, if you got that little bump, and that you hit, you just gotta be prepared for that. And as long as you're prepared for that, you'll be okay. There was a few times they got a little squirmy out there. I'm pretty sure I saw somebody door slam somebody in one of those corners. But like I said, when you're getting down to the end like that, it's all tight racing. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it's like riding a bike. It's just simple. Well, luckily, we had some practice here already. Definitely qualifying. So learning the track is pretty simple. Those super speedways are pretty easy just to get back up and running with. So no big deal there. So like I said, great race though. I mean, holy cow, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a wild one for sure. But like I said, I mean, I say I think you got a knack for pushing these guys to some wins here. So saying obviously with Jason being in that playoff race too, that's obviously I'm sure very very appreciative there. And I say I can tell you that wins actually propelled him to 1 point out of the lead as well. So so he's right in the thick of this as we got 2 more to go afterwards. So just yeah, hell of a job tonight, man. Really, really great job with the strategy adjustments, and then like I said, apparently doing some really good fuel runs at the end to make those numbers easily. It sounds like so. Yeah, definitely want to give you the floor though. Any thanks and shouts for that podium tonight.
Yeah, for sure, man. I just like I said, I hate that the Jacob Lee machine can't be in the running in the playoffs because I think we got one heck of a truck and we could really make it, really competitive like we did last year. But unfortunately, missed 2 of those races, which put us out of it. But like I said, I mean, looking forward to helping Jason out as much as I can, and we've hooked up with some other guys to try to help them as well. And so, like I said, with me being out of the playoffs, I mean, do I want to win it? Sure, I wouldn't mind winning it. But if I have the opportunity to push somebody to win, I'm going to do it. So, huge shout out to everybody back at Jacob Lee Racing that put this truck together. They do a fantastic job in this Chevy machine, and they're huge on what they do here. Also, like thank Jason, thank him for everything he does. It's always fun racing with him. Always fun getting together there. Huge shout out to the Roswell Motorsports team. Thankful they've kind of just accepted us into this playoff series and said, "Man, you guys are more than welcome to run with us." And we've kind of jumped in and we've all strategized together. So it was great. Thanks to Whiplash Sim Cams. Y'all got some really cool cams, man. They're so neat to see each and every week. Thanks 40 Racewear for everything you guys do there. I'm still waiting on my shoes. I think y'all still should just send me some just because me pushing everybody to the wins here. I think that's a great sportsmanship and would show class on y'all's end, Huge shout out to Green White Checker TV. You guys, man, I'm telling you, one of the best broadcasts around. And I know broadcast is not easy, but y'all make it look easy. And once again, thanks to Area 51 for such a great league, man. It's such fun coming here week in and week out, and I'll just look forward to the next race every week. So thanks to you, Matt and Gael. Thanks for you guys sitting up in the broadcast booth and doing this thing. You guys do great. So, well, I don't know about Matt, but Gael, you do really good. So I love you, Matt.
No, he's got nothing for that one. That already stepped away for a second. So he's a man of many hats right now. But no, hell of a job, man. And yeah, look forward to seeing what you got for the rest of them. And yes, I mean, if you can do what you've been doing these last couple of races, I say people are going to be keeping an eye out for that 21 truck behind them. So yeah, great job, man. Look forward to see you go the rest of the way.
Cool. Yep, I appreciate you guys and look forward to next week.
All right, that is Jacob Lee, our podium finisher tonight. Now we got to jump over to that number 8 of Dude Conrad. He keeps the points lead by 1 point over Jason. But dude, holy cow, man. I mean, obviously you guys nailed the fuel mileage right off the bat, going a lap longer than everybody. Everybody saw it, reacted, and it was just kind of that cat and mouse game where it was really tough. Like, when do you push? When do you kind of back it down a little bit?
When you wake up, when you go to sleep, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, man. And then yeah, at the very end, we saw some guys pitting at 60. Some went to 61. And then I mean, you guys did a really good job. You had the bottom and the middle lanes controlled, and say from Matt and I were peeking, it looks like unfortunately your pusher maybe just sputtered there a little bit at the end, which may have been enough to kind of drop you a tiny bit. But I mean, take us through the kind of the strategy of the fuel mileage, and then of course, then at what point do you guys say, okay, it's time to go, and we got to try to make sure we control this thing, because I'm sure there's a lot going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, like you said, a bunch of cat and mouse games, and we kind of went up there and led the field a bunch, and keep them on their toes. And I don't know, Peter was cracking the whip on us pit on lap 61. That's what we did, and we just had enough to make it there at the end. It was fun playing the cat and mouse games, but I wish they put more gas in these things.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, I'm pretty sure it was a non-issue, but it was one of the issues we ran into recently, where with the new truck build, somehow it changed the fuel mileage or something like that. Because yeah, I remember. I mean, that's something that the admins kind of like, hey, we're making sure that this isn't going to be a thing where you have to do it from the get-go. And unfortunately, we had a couple of those recently, and so I know they've been adjusting. And I get this one, I think, just caught us for a little curve, unfortunately, But yeah, man, I mean, you've had two really, really good runs over, obviously, the course of this playoffs, getting the runner-up tonight. So I got to dig the results for last week. So I want to say you were the highest finisher or playoff driver last week with fifth at Talladega. So I mean, you're doing what you need to do, but obviously the guys are still kind of hovering over the shoulder, especially when it's just a 4-race playoff. I mean, do you do anything different with having just that little point lead, or is it just one of those deals where you run what you run, kind of week in, week out to get you into this position?
I mean, you've seen the guys in our Discord. We just run what we can do and points fall where they may, especially with 2 to go. Maybe the last one, if we're still in it, we'll do something crazy. But 2 to go, we just run like we've been running all season.
Wow, it was a really good job. Like I said, it was definitely a lot of strategy involved tonight. Then obviously towards the end, you guys got to let loose and kind of do what you guys do best. So I know obviously it's tough one to be right there so close at the end, but still, I mean, again, a great result to be able to get that runner up and be still leading the points going to the last 2, man. So definitely want to give you the floor for any thanks and shout outs for that runner up tonight.
Just thanks to the team. Peter for doing the calculating while he's driving. I don't know how he does it. Him and Gabe both. I don't know how they do it. Glad to have Gabe back. That was awesome. Good win to Jason. And thank you guys for the broadcast. And hi to Weston. They're watching tonight.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. I think pretty much everybody sharing that sentiment too. Is great to see Gabe back out on track and saying didn't lose a step, obviously. So we'll be watching for him, I'm sure, more as it goes on. So good job though, Ty, man. Looking forward to seeing you the rest of the way, and we'll see if you can go get that title.
Thank you, Gaio. Thank you, Matt.
See you, man.
All right, that leaves us one driver left to chat with, and it's going to be this Jason Bogart fella. So we're going to pull him on in over here, get a good look at his truck, because he's got some fans already in the YouTube chat. We got Bob Ross the Hoss. I mean, I love that name right off the get-go. And then Ramrod rooting you on there. So proud dad moment. And Matt, I heard a rumor you like first-time winners.
I think this is his second win.
I'm not showing on my
Are you
stats.
Sure?
I'm showing first Area 51 win.
Let's clarify from the man himself. Jason, how's it feel, brother?
It's first time win, buddy. It feels pretty good.
Oh, it is a first time win.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I was checking the stats, and yeah, he's been moving up. I say his previous best was a third, and that was over just in June, so only a couple months ago. But obviously, these guys don't make it easy for us, Jason, try to get these wins. But we were talking to Jacob, and obviously the strategy. I mean, that was the name of the game tonight was fuel strategy and pit strategy, and it obviously. I mean, there was points where you guys had to just basically drop the anchor, if you will, and go real big fuel save, because some of the boot knockers kind of got the jump on a few guys pitting a lap earlier or later, I should say. And so then we saw the adjustments being made, and then Jacob was saying, you guys actually had fuel to spare there at the end. I mean, take us through kind of just the strategies, and then yeah, at what point did you decide to let loose there at the end?
Yeah, you just got to play the cards you're dealt. But we were pitting, I think, a lap before them for most of the race, and then the last two cycles, me and Jacob and I decided that we've got enough to run it out with them. Let's do it and see what happens. And we cycled out with enough to go full bore the rest of the race, which was cool. And we had a little less than a lap left across the line, so it worked out pretty good. That's my pusher, man, the 21.
Nah, he's been a really good pusher. He just chimed in on YouTube saying he's been able to push 2 people to their first time win. So he's definitely he's gonna kind of keep that one, I'm sure. I mean, that's one of those things, like, if you can't win him yourself, I'm pretty sure he's got a win already too. But like, it's one of those ones where if you can push a teammate and a buddy to a win, like, it almost, to me at least, it feels better than winning it yourself. So
Oh, for sure.
and then yeah, so I mean that win's huge for you though, because you jump 4 spots now, just 1 point now behind Dude Conrad for the lead here going into those final 2 races. So I mean, obviously you always want to kind of go the right direction at the right time. Obviously with these kinds of races, you never know how it's going to shake out week in and week out. But I mean, do you look at that at all, or are you just kind of like, let's just go race by race and see what happens in the end?
I've been keeping an eye on the points. Like, I've been floating around the top 5 and keeping an eye on it. But the more I thought about it, I was like, well, as long as I'm in the top 12, it doesn't really matter until the last 4 races. So I just played it by ear until we got to the playoffs, and now it's time to roll.
Well, let's say you've done a good job on that. Like I said, getting the win here tonight. And yeah, I mean, so then let's go back now to the move because we saw you and Jacob. You jumped up top behind Seth and Patrick, and it looked like it was a good chance of it kind of pushing forward. And then it kind of settled in a little bit, but then you guys regroup, go to the middle, clear the both of them, jump up top, and then from there, I mean, it was a really good combo there that worked to get you guys propelled ahead. I mean, take us through the strategies. Like, okay, do we stay committed to them up top, or do we try to see if we can maybe steal a little bit ourselves? I mean, what was the thought process and strategy there at the end?
So it just wasn't moving as fast as what we were thinking it would. So there was like 4 or 5 cars in that middle lane, and it was all Jacob's idea. He said, pop in behind the 25 and see if we can get around these guys and then lead the line. And it worked, man. It worked all the way down to that last, what was it, 0.005.
Mhm.
Yep, 5,000s.
It was almost perfect timing. It was good.
Nah, it was really good. And yeah, I mean, so that was an awesome job. I said we don't want to keep you too long, so I'm sure you've got some celebrating to do. And I know, like I said, you've got some fans over on the YouTube side of things, so definitely want to give you the floor for any thanks and shouts for that win tonight.
Oh, well, let's get the big ones out of the way. Whiplash Sim Cams, 40 Raceware, iRacing for providing the platform. What do we got? We got Sensi on board this year. Thank you to all those beautiful companies for sponsoring this awesome league. And personally, I would like to thank my grandma and grandpa watch every week. My dad watches every week. My mom and her whole family watches. My buddy Richie watches every week. That's Bob Ross. My buddy Aaron watches every week. And my beautiful fiance Emily watches every week too. So thank you to all of them.
Love the family support, and yeah, you can tell your buddy. I think that's probably one of the best YouTube names I've ever seen. So
Oh yeah,
I'm on board.
He had an afro growing up, so that was his gamer tag all through school.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
That
Yeah.
may or may not have been my Halloween costume last year too. So
Nice.
a little extra bias
can't-
towards my end.
I can't leave without thanking Jacob, number one, though, and the Roswell guys helped out a bunch with fuel strategy today too, and my teammate Zach, he's in here sometimes, the 76 truck. Got to thank him for the support as well.
Well, I'll say we'll let you go celebrate, man. Hell of a job tonight. I say we loved the move, and I said it was super exciting. We weren't sure if you're going to get there or not, but man, you guys timed it to perfection, and
Yep.
yeah, man, go enjoy this one, and look forward to seeing you go for that title.
Hey, thanks, Kyle. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
All right, Matt, that is our race winner as we watch he and Jacob celebrate on the front stretch. Man, what a good job by those guys. Like I said, just right on the number, nailed the fuel mileage. And I mean, it's one of those ones, there's times where it's tough. It's like, these guys it's just strategy. but like at some point they're gonna crack the whip and they're gonna get that wild race at the end, and that's exactly what we got. It's just they had to get there first, and they'll say, but that's why these things are so hard to get to, Matt. Is they got to work the strategy to make the numbers happen, and yeah, I mean, obviously we all want to see kind of that outright brawl from start to finish, but we definitely got it at
Right.
the end, and I'll say, like I said, I'm sure there's gonna be some adjustments for the future races, but just great finish, great racing by those guys. No crazy big moves, anything like that, anything dangerous.
Right.
Just great hard racing, clean racing.
Yeah, same thing. It was the same thing with the Xfinity cars. It came down to a fuel mileage thing, and it turned out to be a first-time winner in that one as well. And guess who was the pusher in that one?
So I think we've got it. I think we've got it down. So if it's a fuel mileage race and you're in front of a certain Jacob Lee, you might be in a good spot.
Yeah, pretty much. That's uh, what a race, though. It's for me as a fan, I'm sorry, Kevin Freeze. I'm gonna have to actually I'm gonna have to agree with him. I'm not a big fan of it. I really am not. But it in the end, it turned out to be a first time winner. But I do like first time winners. That's kind of like one of my favorite things in broadcasting. It brings a smile on their faces. The tears of joy. All that good stuff. It's
Oh yeah, no, it's
it
a great
it
feeling.
it is it. When I got mine, I feel 'em. I really do. Uh, Congratulations there, Jason.
Yeah, no, definitely hats off to him. Like I said, great job by Jacob and all the drivers. Like I said, it was a challenging one tonight. Like I said, I mean, we still able to get 10 of the guys were able to run that number to perfection to make it to the end. Unfortunately, it just didn't quite pan out for a handful of the other guys. But again, I mean, that's 2 down. We got 2 more to go. So I say we'll be back in 1 week's time at Atlanta Motor Speedway, followed by the finale at Daytona. But however, our next race up is going to be in the open wheel cars. That's going to be at Texas Motor Speedway. I'll say if we talk about these guys going 220 plus, we'll be definitely seeing that over there with those cars. And of course, then kicking off the playoffs on Thursday night at Talladega for the Xfinity Series. So, Matt, always, man, it's a pleasure doing these with you. I say appreciate
Always.
all your time and effort and commitment on the broadcasting side, the admin side, the driving side. Like I said, you're a man of many hats with this league, and it's very very appreciated. So yeah, thank you for
Thank you.
everything.
Appreciate it.
Everybody that watches, that supports us here on YouTube, like I said, week in and week out. I mean, we see all the dedicated people watching their friends and the family, and it's so much fun to be able to interact with you all. So thank you all so much for watching, for supporting us. It means the world, and it just makes it so much more fun too. So, but yeah, that'll be it for us tonight. So as always, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you all on Tuesday. Have a good night.